Yo, what's good, YouTube? Appreciate y'all tuning back in. Got a pretty short one for y'all today. All I'm doing is pulling some weeds. I'm actually about to cut the grass real quick, but I'm gonna pull some weeds first. I'm gonna zoom over into the garden beds just to show how I pull the weeds and how to look for weeds and how to go ahead and get them out of your soil as quick as possible. And then that should pretty much wrap up the video. You can see right here too, I've been testing something out with basketballs, old basketballs as well, making planters out of them. So I think I might end up selling those on my Instagram page. So my camera actually died, but this is what the basketball planters look like. And while the camera was charging, I went ahead and just cut the grass. So it's a little bit later on in the morning now, and some construction work going on the highway. So I'm not sure if you can hear that. What I was saying was, make sure you follow me on my Instagram. I'll probably start selling these up there. But I'm just repurposing old basketballs, turning them into planters. So I thought it turned out pretty well. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and head over to the garden now, or head over to the garden beds and show just an example of like the weeds that I'm talking about. The reason that you want to weed or like pull the weeds in the garden. And then that'll pretty much wrap up the video for today. So I'm gonna go ahead and head over now. So this is a pretty easy one to show just because it's real easy to see. You can see where the weeds are and you can distinguish the weeds between the actual plant pretty easily. So this is a little plot where I planted some Arugula a couple weeks ago. They sprouted fine. It looks like they're doing just fine, but what you want to do is just pull weeds. And to me, weeds are any plant that's just not wanted. They're all plants, so they're going to be grateful for any type of nutrients that are in the soil. So that means like if there's weeds in the same soil that you have your plants growing in, it's going to be competing for the nutrients. So that's why you want to pull the weeds out. So weeds are pretty much any plant that's like unwanted in the area that you're trying to pull them from. So I only want to grow arugula here, so whatever else grows, whether that be just random wild weeds or if it's another type of vegetable seed, those are the things that I'll actually be able to pull up. So pretty much what I do is I try to pull right there at the root. I try to pull right there at the bottom so I can pull the whole root out the ground. That way it's just not growing back. And then I really just kind of mix that into the soil and let it break down. But I want to pull the whole thing up because if you're not pulling the whole root up, some weeds can grow back just from the roots being fine. So that's why I pull up the entire weed like that. And then for places for places like right here where there's nothing planted yet and there's still weeds, what I'll do is I'll just use like a little cultivator or a little rake just to get all those weeds up instead of pulling those one by hand. But the ones where I actually have plants growing, those are the ones that I'll pull. So I'll just pull, like there's another one right here, so just pull. And I didn't even get that whole weed. I just kind of broke that off, so hopefully it doesn't grow back. But like right here, so you just kind of pull them all out, pull them out the ground entirely. And that's pretty much what you want to do. So I'm gonna do this for the whole entire garden bed. I won't record it, but I'll come back and show what it looks like once it's kind of a little bit more tilled up for the parts where there's no plants. And then I'll zoom into some of the parts where there are plants just to show what it looks like once the weeds are all pulled up. Alright, so that's pretty much what it looks like. This is the same piece that I was showing before. This is the arugula, and I went ahead and watered it too. So the sun is kind of bright, so I'm not sure if you can kind of see, but I'm gonna try to zoom in as much as possible. But for the most part, there's no other plants in there other than the arugula. And then what I'll do is just periodically just kind of check it every couple weeks or every couple of days or so to pull the weeds out. It's best to do stuff like this as early as possible with any of the plants, and then once they grow large enough, they should be able to block the weeds out from block the sun out from the weeds and pretty much prohibit them from being able to grow. But it's something that you just want to stay on top of as early as possible, and then later on in the growing season, it's not something that you really have to worry too much about. So I went ahead and did into all of those with plants in it, kind of tilled up like the soil where there's nothing planted yet. And then like I said before in my previous videos, I went ahead and put all the seedlings out here and I just watered everything. So that's pretty much what it looks like. I'm gonna go over to where the carrots are at because there was a whole lot of weeds in there, and I'll show what the final product of that looks like too. So here's where the carrots are. I'll zoom in as much as possible here too. Some of the green you see is from me just cutting the grass. But if you look down at the soil, for the most part, I was able to like remove all the weeds, make sure that they're not competing for the nutrients or anything. And actually this one right here, so I'm gonna go and pull this one up too. But that's pretty much all you're gonna do whenever you're pulling weeds out of your plants. Basically you're just giving them the best chance possible, giving them all the access to the nutrients and not letting any other plant come in there and kind of cause any other problems. So that pretty much wraps up what I'm doing today. I don't plan on doing anything new in the garden over the next couple days, so it probably won't be until next week when I upload a new video. But that's pretty much all I'll be doing today. So make sure, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on so you can be reminded whenever I upload new videos. But until next time, peace.